Hello, everybody. Welcome to Lakers Talk with Gerald, episode number 63. Welcome back, and glad everybody can join me here tonight. We got a few things to talk about since the last episode. It's been about 4, 5, 6 days, something like that, since the last episode. And the few topics that I want to talk about tonight, since, Kobe and Shaq been talking. And we're going to discuss exactly. It started off with Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant was getting interviewed, and he said a few things. They asked him about, I guess they were asking him about his conditioning, and then they asked him about Shaq and, what he thought of Shaq's conditioning. And he had a few words to say, and that sparked some things. So we're going to talk about that. I'm not going to get into too many details quite yet. We're going to get into that just in a few moments here. Another thing we're going to talk about, because the last news that we got, that we picked up Dwight Howard. And since then, there's been video of him working out, looking in fantastic shape, showing him doing different things, shooting three-pointers, pull-up jumpers from the free throw line, showing him like going in and dunking, showing him shooting free throws. He's looking in great shape. He's so he's very, very cut up. I don't see any body fat on him at all, and he's 33 years old. So that's a great sign. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the response from Dwight Howard from what he was on his Twitter or on his Instagram, one of those ones, and he was kind of live, and he was getting the feeds from different people, and somebody was like, hey, did you hear what happened, what such and such? So because I don't want to spoil it, I'm not going to go ahead and say that yet, but we're going to talk about that also. And that's pretty much what this podcast, this episode is going to be about. Those are going to be the topics. That's what we're going to talk about. All right, everybody, let's start off with Kobe Bryant. He was getting interviewed. All right, I don't know exactly what it was. And you know what? I don't want to give you every detail. You got to look that up for yourself. Let me know. That's what the interaction part of this is. That's what I like to do. I like to interact. So let me know what it was. What was he on? What was he getting interviewed by? Who was he getting interviewed by? All right. So it comes down to Kobe Bryant was getting interviewed. And they asked him about Shaq and his work habits and things like that. And Kobe said he said Shaq's work habits were basically, he said they were horrible. And he said, man, if Shaq was in shape and he hit the gym like I did, had the same work ethic, excuse me guys, it's work ethic as Kobe had, he said he would have had 12 rings. Now, of course, yeah, that's a major exaggeration, but guys, I want to tell you something. I want to know what you think about that. But first of all, I was a person that I was a Lakers fan, and I watched every game. And I was a Kobe fan, I was a Lakers fan before Kobe came to the team. Before Shaq got traded to the team, I was a Lakers fan. I couldn't wait to see if we could get Shaq before he came. And I was so happy when he decided to come from Orlando to the Lakers. I was like the happiest guy in the world. I was like, man, we're back. Like, man, we're going to be great. I was so happy. And that same year that we got Shaq, we end up basically trading up for Kobe. We took Charlotte's 13th pick or 14th pick, and we actually got Kobe. We actually traded Vlade Divac to get that pick, and we got Kobe Bryant. And at first, I was kind of upset because I liked Vlade, and I'm like, man, what the hell? But we actually traded Vlade before we got Shaq. So first we traded Vlade to get the pick. We didn't know what pick, we 13th or 14th. We didn't know who we were going to get. And then Shaq announced that he was coming to the Lakers. And then the NBA draft happened, and then we drafted Kobe Bryant. We're like, okay, who's that dude? And then turns out that Kobe and Shaq end up being like the ultimate duo. But I'm gonna tell everybody this, because everybody just seems to live on dreams. Everybody that, if you didn't live it and watch it, like, yeah, Kobe was great, but let me tell you the first couple years of Kobe's time with the Lakers, and I'm gonna tell you exactly how I felt. His first year with the Lakers, remember, we had Eddie George at that time. Eddie George was a two guard, same position as Kobe Bryant, around the same height, give or take. And Eddie George was already an all-star at that point, averaging 20 or so points a game, balling out, good guard, doing his thing. And so, we're like, yeah, Kobe. Every time they put him in, Kobe came off the bench his first year, his rookie season. Every time they put Kobe in, my first thought was that all he's doing is shooting his ass off, trying to get he's ball hogging. He wasn't passing nobody. He get the ball and he just shoot. He tried to do all kind of dunks, dramatic stuff, and you could tell like man, what are you doing? You're not even playing within the game. As soon as he got in, he started ball hogging, shooting the ball. And to me, I was like, what the hell? Remind you guys, this is his rookie season. I hadn't heard much of him. I didn't know a whole lot about what Kobe Bryant was. He came in straight out of high school. He didn't go to college. So he was a young guy, 18 years old. And so the next year, I think his first rookie year, he averaged 7 points a game, because he only really averaged like 15 minutes or so a game, came off the bench. He was a rookie. That's generally what happened with rookies. And then so his next year, he averaged a little bit more. His average went from like 7 to about 15. And then the third year is when he really broke out. And that's when, second year, the conflict kind of started, because, when he was in, he was always like, he shared the same position as Eddie George, but he was shooting and taking away from Eddie George. And that's the year I was getting mad. I was getting upset. I'm like, who the hell, man? What the hell you doing? Like, this is Eddie George. He's an all-star, and you're just shooting all these shots. And, that was the second year. By the third year, I think Eddie George was traded. Kobe Bryant was starting. Kobe Bryant ended up averaging about 22 so points a game. And to be honest with you, I wasn't convinced yet. I wasn't sold on Kobe Bryant. I really wasn't. I'm going to tell you when I was sold on Kobe Bryant. It happened when the Lakers were playing. I think they were playing Indiana in the playoffs or something like that, right? Shaq fouled out. Kobe was like, no, I got it. I got this. And I got this. He kind of did this, calm down, everybody. I got this. And he proceeded to just hit bucket, like critical bucket after critical bucket after critical bucket. And at that point, I was like, oh my damn, this dude was like, I got this. I'm going to get this. I'm going to do this in a critical, like, moment in the game. It was like one of those things that people either fold or they step up. And at a young age, he stepped up. And at that point, I realized, and the Lakers ended up winning the game. He ended up pulling the Lakers through because of his like clutch buckets. The Lakers ended up winning the game. And from that moment on, I saw the light. I was like, whoa, this dude is something else. I changed my whole opinion about him. I thought he was a hot dog. I thought he was just one of those dudes to shoot the ball. I was mad that he helped get rid of Eddie George. I had a whole lot of things I was mad about him about. At that moment, that all changed. I forgot all about Eddie George. I was like, all right, sorry Eddie George, but hey, Kobe Bryant is here. And Kobe Bryant was good. He was great. But what I want everybody to remember, I said that whole history about Kobe just to show you what I thought of him for the first few years and how it changed my mind. But what hadn't happened is I never thought he was better than Shaq or higher than Shaq. And this is no bust on Kobe Bryant. Not at all. I'm still taking myself back. I'm still taking myself back in those first 3-4 years. Never at that point I thought he was better than Shaq. And okay, let's just break it down. Shaq always was high percentage. You know, you throw it down. The offense went through Shaq, Phil Jackson. You know, dump it down to Shaq, start the offense through him, and then everybody collapsed on him. And then if Shaq couldn't dunk on you and get a 60% to 65% shooting percentage, you know, that's what he got. Shaq was 60-ish percentage most of his career with the Lakers. Go look up the stats. Shaq was a very efficient option on the most efficient option on the offense. I'm not just he was the most efficient option. Even with those people double teaming him, even with them like grabbing him, hacking Shaq, and they couldn't do nothing with Shaq. Shaq was the most dominant center in the league, the most dominant person in the league. Nobody could stop him. There was no answer. So what I'm getting at is I'm trying to point out that Shaq was the most dominant person, 60-something% shooting. And as the years went on, Kobe got better. Shaq was just great. Kobe kept getting better and better, but Kobe's efficiency wasn't nowhere near what Shaq's was. Never in his entire career, not at any point, not even at his peak. And okay, so I want you guys to do some research. I want you guys to go ahead and I want you to look up Kobe's most efficient year in his whole entire career. Or no, let's just look up his most efficient year as the years he was with Shaq, okay? And then look up Shaq's years and see if there's any years that Kobe Bryant was more efficient than Shaq. And when I say more efficient, I mean higher field goal percentage, okay? All right? It might be in a couple years that Kobe averaged more points than Shaq, but I want you to look at the details, because attention to details is a huge thing. All right? So, he averaged more points than Shaq, but look, he shot more shots than Shaq those years. Go look at it. Look how many shots per game Shaq shot. Look how many shots Kobe shot. And then you say, okay, well, why are you pointing that out? Yeah, he shot more shot. He's averaging more points. He's better. Well, if he's better, no, don't just say he's better. Go back and look at the shooting percentage. Shaq shot less, but he still shot over 60% from the field. Kobe shot more, but he shot under 50% from the field. What that tells you is that Kobe was he was the guard. The guards have control of the ball. They shoot the ball more. He wasn't passing it down to Shaq. And so what I'm getting with that is that, you're going to say, like, Kobe averaged more. He was better. He's more spectacular. He did this. But guess what? He was just shooting more. If you would have gave Shaq the ball, he's shooting at a 60% clip. Even when you say Shaq was out of shape, even when he was fat, even when you say he was whatever, he still was averaging 30 points, 12 rebounds, 2 blocks, over 60%. Or give or take, you know what I mean? Like, even in... All right, guys, so one of the things that came up, I'm segueing. I didn't finish my thought because I have something to say about the next thing, and it's going to all tie back together. What I was going to say is that I was going to tie back into the finals against the Detroit Pistons and what Kobe said when he was getting interviewed. And when he had said what he said about Shaq, about not being in shape, and how if he was in shape, and I want to point this out, that Kobe said, I would have won 12 rings. That's very, like, a little narcissistic, a little bit, because not we would have won 12. I would have won 12 rings. I'm just pointing that out. Go back and listen. But the point is, when he said about Shaq, like, if he would have been in shape, I would have won 12 rings. And he's like, I tell Shaq this all the time. And then Shaq popped back off on his Twitter or Instagram, like, you would have won 12 rings if you would have passed me the ball, especially in Detroit. And I'm glad he said that. He might have been joking. It might not have been a real beef. Shaq might have been just saying that just to cause a stir, because Kobe even said himself that Kobe told Shaq the same thing in person And there's even video of both him and Shaq talking, and he told that Shaq, he said that same thing to Shaq. And Shaq admitted that he was lazy and he ate burgers and all that stuff. But the point is that, Shaq came back and said that, hey, in Twitter, that, if you'd have passed me the ball, you'd have won 12 rings, especially against Detroit. And I want to just kind of break down Detroit series, the finals, NBA finals. The Lakers had, they had Karl Malone, they had the glove, they had Kobe Bryant, and they had Shaq. They went to the finals against Detroit. Detroit ended up beating the Lakers, I think in 5 games. And if you go back and look at that series, Kobe shot more shots. I believe he averaged more points. But that goes back to the example of what I was just talking about, that Shaq shot less shots, but he had a higher field. He still had 60% field goal shooting. So what that shows you, if you just dump it down and give it to Shaq, he could still score. And that was his last year with Kobe. He could still score at a 60% rate. Supposedly out of shape, supposedly not going to the gym, supposedly fat, whatever. Well, the point was, Shaq's comeback was legit. It was legit. Most of you guys, look, I'm biased. I've been a Lakers fan since I was 12 years old. I go back to Magic Johnson, Byron Scott, James Worthy, AC Green, Michael Cooper, Michael Thompson, all those guys. I go way back before Kobe, Shaq was even thought of. So I was a fan to be a fan of the Lakers. I'm not a one guy fan. So I'm going to keep it real. And love Kobe. We wouldn't have got none of the championships if it wasn't for Kobe and Shaq. I'm going to go ahead and say that, everybody. I'm not playing down on Kobe, what they bring to the table, but Shaq was the man. Shaq was Batman. Kobe was Robin. I hate to say Robin. I mean, you can think of some other duo, but no matter the combination, when Shaq was there, Shaq was the man. Okay? Go back and look. Just go watch video. Go look up stats. Go look up every stat you can and compare what Shaq had and what Kobe. I'm not trying to compare, but I'm just trying to be real. Why you think they won 3 titles in a row when Shaq and Kobe were together? Who was the finals MVP of all 3 years? Did Shaq get 2 and Kobe get 1? Did Kobe get 2? Did Shaq get 1? You guys let me know. Okay. Oh no, wait a minute. Let me look at this. No, Shaq got 3 finals most valuable players when Kobe and Shaq were together. Kobe didn't get any? No, he didn't. Kobe didn't get any finals most valuable player. Why is that? If he really was the best player amongst them, why wasn't he getting these finals most valuable players? Okay. Even though he might have, even if he averaged more points, he did what? Why didn't he get the finals most valuable player? Because he wasn't the best player on the team. All right. So I want you guys to understand that's part of the reason why the feud between him and Shaq started to happen. Kobe has this fire, this desire. He really does want to be the man. And he started realizing that I can't be the man if Shaq is here. I got to figure out a way to be by myself. And you can actually go back and watch some video. Kobe even admits that part of the reason why he didn't want to be with Shaq is because he needed to be the man. He says that he needs to lead his own team. He wanted to lead his own team to a championship because he knew his legacy wouldn't be what it is if he couldn't lead a team by himself. And so he wanted to do that challenge. He had to get rid of Shaq. So go do your research, go back and look, watch all these videos. And this is not to divide. This is more of just so we all could be have some understanding and get educated. And ultimately Shaq and Kobe supposedly are on good grounds. They do talk. or at least whenever they are or near each other, they talk. To me, it doesn't seem like they ever were friends. They don't call each other and talk every day. None of that kind of stuff. It's whenever they're interviewed or together in front of the cameras, they both say nice things in front of each other for the most part. Really, Shaq, when they're on camera and they're together, Shaq will give Kobe all the praise. Shaq will say Kobe's the best Laker, which I honestly don't agree. I think, Shaq was better when they were together, but the fact that Kobe spent his whole 20 years, yeah, but then at the same time, the best Laker was Magic, because he changed the whole league and dynamic and all. And you just gotta go watch him. You can't judge him on what he did as an executive with the Lakers. That's a whole nother story. But back to the topic at hand. You guys let me know what you think of everything that I talked about when it comes to Shaq and Kobe, when Kobe and Shaq were together in their three-peat, how efficient Shaq was and how Kobe was. And look up those stats. Let me know. Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think that I'm wrong with my opinion on saying that Shaq was the most dominant? He was more, had a better percentage overall, more efficient. Kobe was less efficient, 40-something percentage. Not the greatest. That's why it was a conflict. It was like, pass down to Shaq. No, I don't want to. I want to shoot this shot. And at one point, Kobe started saying that he wasn't passing to Shaq because he was out of shape. And he's, even in his interview, he said, "Look, Shaq, I'm gonna shoot this shot, and you just get the rebound and try to put it back in or something if I miss." Yeah. Anyway, interesting stuff. I think it's some interesting topic. I spent a lot of time talking about that. What I want to talk about next, I want to talk about Dwight Howard. We talked about, he's been getting these videos and showing he's in great shape with his shirt off, with just some shorts, and he's super cut up at 33 years old. They show him going and shooting these shots and setting screens and diving and dunking and doing all this stuff. Now, I will say that he's not actually doing this with any competition. You see these guys, they look about my height. I'm 5'7". Dwight Howard is 6'11". They seem like they're about my height. The guys that's guarding them, maybe at the most 6 foot, 6'2", whatever. To him, that's not anything at all. And next thing you know, he backs him up and he turns around and spins and dunks and he turns around and shoots. And that's great. He looks great. He looks fast. He looks fantastic. I only can hope the best of the season, but at the same time, I gotta kind of take it with a grain of salt, because these guys that he's doing these moves on are 6 foot or less, and he's 6'11". So I can't take that with a grain of salt. I don't know if he's gonna be doing the same thing in the NBA, but I know he looks great though. I know he looks like he's fantastic. I know I did see him shooting like a pull-up jumper from the free throw. I know I saw him shooting like 2 or 3 three-pointers from the corner. So I will take all that. I'm happy to see that. I hope he can definitely bring at least half of that to the Lakers season this year, and we're going to be great. I mean, we just need him to bring that. We don't really need him to even bring his A game. We don't need him to be the Dwight Howard from years ago in the past. We just need him to be like half of what he used to be. And what he's showing so far, being in such a great shape, yeah, I'm going to take that all day. Let's get it. All right, guys, let me know what you think about that. Let me know what you think about Dwight Howard. Do you think he's going to make an impact on the Lakers now that DeMarcus Cousins isn't on the Lakers anymore? Well, not that he's not on the Lakers, but he got hurt. But he possibly might not be on the Lakers anymore. A topic that I didn't kind of prelude to is about the Boogie Cousins. Okay, so Boogie Cousins just got married. He had a lot of people at his wedding. I saw clips of it. I actually was very, very happy for him. I would love this for myself. But not long after that, TMZ, doom, 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 doom. They do a little breaking thing. And they have a recording of him talking to his ex-wife, his baby mama. And he's like, can my kid come to my wedding? She's like, no. He's like, all right, I'm gonna ask you one more time. You know, it kind of escalates. It goes back and forth. And he's like, I'm gonna ask you this one more time before I take it to the next level. Can my son come to my wedding? And she's like, no, you can't. Go shoot some more ball. Go shoot some more hoops. And it's kind of indecipherable who she's talking to. Is she talking to him, or she's talking to her son in the background? I don't know. And then she's like, no, he can't come. He's like, I'm gonna put a bullet in your head or something like that. And you can tell he's pissed off. He's upset. But you can tell this is from history of that kind of thing going back and forth. She don't want to give him what he want. He's about to get married to the next woman. She's upset. She's pissed off. I'm speculating. I'm a guy. I'm speculating. But at the same time, how many times have we heard about the baby mother being super, super upset and taking vengeance out on the husband by any means that she can, whatever power that she has? And a lot of times that end up being the kid. The kid is the pawn. The kid is the power. You want the kid? You want him at your wedding? No, you can't have him. I have the power. No, you can't. No, what is it? I don't care if it's benefit. And they're not thinking about the kid. They're not thinking about what is going to be best for him psychologically growing up. They don't understand that a kid needs his father and his mother. And you can't prevent him from seeing that father and your mother because he's going to be damaged growing up. They don't understand that. They don't see it. They just, really, they're being selfish. But I don't want to just be all on the woman's side, but because I do want to admit that Boogie Cousins was wrong. He was absolutely wrong for telling her, I'm going to put a bullet in your head. Because, yeah, that was said in like anger. That was said in emotion. But when you say those things, especially in today's society, when you're getting people shooting up schools, people shooting up all these places, when you say, I'm going to put a bullet in your head, who's to say it's a joke or not? She could be legitimately scared because he could have beat her. He could have been hitting her when they were together, and he could have had guns, and maybe he could act on it 5 days a week, a month from now. I don't know. I'm just playing devil's advocate right now because, yeah, he could have said that. A lot of people say like, oh, we understand he was just saying that. He didn't really mean it. He's not really going to put a bullet in her head. But in the current climate, there's a lot of people. I'm just going to go ahead and say this. There's a lot of people, non-black, because I didn't grow up this way. I didn't grow up with threats like that. I'm going to go ahead and say that. I could never say, Mom, fuck you. Fuck you, Mom. Fuck you, I wish you would die. I'm going to put a bullet in your head. And I'm saying all this to say because I grew up in a black family. I'm black. All right. I could never say it to my mom. My mom would whoop my ass, beat my ass. I looked at her wrong. She would slap me. I would get my ass beat. Okay. We could not even say anything close to that. And what I'm leading to is this. I dated, this woman for a while, for a couple years. And she was a white woman. It took some adjusting because when we would get into arguments, she would say some harsh stuff out of nowhere, like, fuck you, die, motherfucker, I'll kick your ass. And I'd be like, whoa, what the fuck are you talking? Excuse my language, everybody. Excuse my language. I might have to edit that out. But what I'm trying to say is that, harsh language that was normal to her in her upbringing. And she could say that to her mother. She can cuss her mother out. She can cuss her parents out. And it was just like, oh, they need to get over it. I was upset. I was angry. And that's normal. And I was like, no, you can't talk to me like that. I don't like being talked to like that. That's serious to me. Don't ever say you're going to kill, cut, slice, anything like that. No, not about that. I don't roll like that. We can't be together. And so I had to, break it up for a little bit. And then, that old saying, you got to teach people how to treat you. So I had to teach her how to treat me. I do not like that. You will not talk to me like this. That is not how we're going to do. If so, I'm not going to be with you. If you got to adjust and you got to apologize, you got to come at me the right way. And she learned and she came the right way. And that's what helped me help me stay with her longer. But, and after that point, things kind of went how they went. But that everything I said is to say that, look, both sides of the equation, growing up the way I grew up, we never said no crazy threatening things. Like when it came, we never said some super pointed things like, I will put a bullet in your head. We said, look, I will whoop your ass. I'll beat your ass. I'll take you back. I birthed you. I could get rid, things like that. It was kind of like the backhanded, it wasn't I will put a bullet in your head. I will slice your neck. It wasn't this descriptive, very, very pointed, very detailed descriptions. When you start saying stuff like that, that takes it to a whole nother level. So I said all that to say, because Boogie Cousins said, I will put a bullet in your head. Now he has a warrant for his arrest. And who's to say whether it's justified? They're calling it domestic abuse or violence or something, even though it was words. That goes to show, you gotta watch what you say, especially when you're in a position of whether power or whether you're a star or a guy that's well known, you make millions. You can't just say whatever you want. That's for everybody else to learn. You can't just say whatever you want, because it could be recorded at any time, and next thing you know, you could have a warrant out for your arrest. So be smart. Yeah. So what does that mean for the rest of DeMarcus Cousins' career? I don't know. I can't answer that, but it does seem like that might really put the nail in the coffin. He just got hurt. There's been a lot of controversy about him in the past, and this coming up and being in the news. And I heard that the Lakers said they're investigating the situation. They just got Dwight Howard as a backup. Why shouldn't the Lakers cut themselves of this whole situation? Why shouldn't they? I don't know. So a lot of people think that, or some people think that, the Lakers are going to wipe themselves clean of Dwight Howard, or not Dwight Howard, of DeMarcus Cousins, and cut him. Or they're looking for any reason, like any big things come up, could be a drop. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not going to give my opinion either way on keep him or get rid of him. All I know is it's not a good look. Ultimately, at the same time, DeMarcus Cousins, you got to choose your words. You got to be smarter than that. Yeah, I understand the frustration with your children. I definitely have witnessed firsthand mothers doing like very spiteful things purposely to get the father upset, to keep the kids away, to badmouth the father. I've seen that. I've experienced that firsthand in my life. I'm not going to give examples, but I have. I really have. So I definitely see that side of things. And I understand how women do that. There are some really spiteful women out there that will do that because they're still upset about them not being together with that guy, and him moving on and marrying somebody else. That is a real thing. It really is. So I can see how he went from 0 to 100 real quick, because there was history. There was a lot of stuff that had taken place where his kid hadn't seen a lot of things. And you can tell it meant a whole lot to DeMarcus Cousins for his son to be there, and he tripped a breaker, and he just went off the cuff, said some stupid stuff, very stupid, very, very stupid, and now it's going to most likely, possibly cost him his career. Yeah. All right, everybody, that's going to wrap it. That's all I'm going to talk about this episode, Lakers Talk with Gerald, episode 63. I want to hear what you guys have to say. There may have been some expletives in this podcast. Yeah, welcome to the big world, grown man stuff, adult stuff. And that's going to do it. Episode 63, Lakers Talk with Gerald. I am officially out.